was that? All right, good morning, everybody. We are going to be talking about some Clinton nonsense this morning. I've got Mario here with me. How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm I'm limited capacity when I'm here, but I'm here. All right.
Understood. Okay, so here's what we're going to start with. We've got pull this article up for you guys. So the DOJ has subpoenaed Bill and Hillary Clinton in the Jeffrey Epstein probe. Now, there's the first thing to say here is
It's not just them; it's a slew of people.
it is. It is.
It's like an
And
entire
that's worth.
administration. It's everybody except Obama has been subpoenaed. All right. It starts in October 18th, and it's no August 18th is the first deposition, which is going to be Bill Barr, which is probably a good choice. Okay, get the he was the attorney general. No, he wasn't. Was he?
Yes.
He was the attorney general, right? And it ends in October with Bill and Hillary Clinton. Okay,
In
so
fact, Barr was AG twice.
right, yeah, once under Bush Senior, and then
Hmm.
under Obama or under Trump. So yeah,
And what a disappointment he turned out to be.
well, I mean, come on, dude.
No, I know.
He's
He's
he's as deep state as they come. Like
right.
he's born and bred for it. All right. But yeah, you're going to subpoena the former attorney general first, okay, for some hard facts, I presume. And then here, this is like one of those. It's like a game of hot potato where you really don't want to be the person to go last, okay, because then you've got all that you have all that testimony coming before you. So basically, the further are down on that list of people getting subpoenaed, the more stories you're going to have to keep straight. Okay, whereas the people going first essentially are going to be able to lay open that opening exposition, right? So yeah, you want to go earlier rather than later. Okay, in an event like this, and made no mistake. This is we're talking over 10 individuals. Do you have the list of them? Um,
Oh, let's see if it's in the article. Do.
It is. It's a little bit halfway down, I believe. If you're reading the same one I am, are you reading the
I
one from CBS?
is it no? This one's Sky News. Shoot me the link to the article you're looking at, and I'll pull it up and show the list. So while Mario's doing that, what I find especially interesting is we're getting kind of another bite at the apple here. There's a huge opportunity here, and I hate to say it, but I'm afraid that our elected Republicans are gonna squander this opportunity. And so I want you guys to get your Twitters out, okay, and start screaming about this. Uh, Bill Clinton was impeached for perjuring himself. Hillary Clinton clearly and obviously perjured herself in the email scandal. Like, okay, there is a potential situation where Hillary did not perjure herself, and if she did not perjure herself, then she lied to the FBI because she made one set of statements to the FBI and then made an exactly opposite contradictory set of statements when she was under oath in front of the Judiciary Committee, right, during the email probe. So she either lied to the FBI, which is a crime, shouldn't be, but it is. Uh, it it is not a crime to lie to the police until you're into a certain point legally, right?
Yeah,
It is, however, a crime to lie to the FBI, which is insane, but it is the fact of the matter. So either she lied to the FBI or she perjured herself, and
yeah,
she should absolutely be charged and prosecuted under at least one of those situations, one of those statutes, and has not
yeah,
been. Um, and then, of course, in the case of the email probe, like this is an incontrovertible statement. She had her aides destroy their communication devices. Blackberries, iPhones, laptops, etc. She had her aides literally take all their communication devices and smash them with hammers. This
Yeah.
is not a conspiracy theory. This is not a tinfoil hat. Oh hey, I heard from a source that heard from a source that heard from an unnamed No, this is incontrovertibly proved to be the case.
Right.
So at
And
a
it
minimum,
is,
hang on. So at a minimum, what she's done there is what's called spoliation. We discussed this a lot when the case was actively in the courts, and it infuriated me that there was never any action taken on this. In the case that someone is caught committing the crime of spoliation, that is the destruction of evidence, right? When you're caught destroying evidence, okay, I'm told to mic check. Okay, here I switched the mic over. In case of a destruction of evidence,
every morning,
the jury
every single morning.
it was automatically hooking up to the right every morning, and then suddenly it's hooking up to the wrong one. I don't know where
I
this
know.
is. Anyway,
Yep.
in any case where the defendant is destroying evidence, the jury is instructed to treat the evidence as if it were the most damning it could possibly have been. So, the easiest example is you've got somebody on trial for murder. They get caught red-handed melting down a gun. Right? Now the gun is no longer admissible. Notice I didn't say the murder weapon. I said the gun. Because now what happens is that gun cannot be examined by the police. It can't be examined forensically. They can't check fingerprints. They can't do ballistics. They can't match the caliber, anything like that. So they're caught destroying a gun, and that's so the and in this hypothetical case, they don't have a murder weapon in the evidence pool. The jury in a case of that sort would be instructed to operate under the assumption that the gun had all of the necessary evidentiary markers to prove absolutely everything that it could possibly have proven. Right? So, in that example, the murder weapon alone cannot prove 100% that the defendant committed the murder. Right? You might have the gun with the fingerprints on it and matches not just the caliber, but the barrel striations match the round and ballistics examination, and you can guarantee 100% that is the gun that fired the round that killed the victim, and you can guarantee 100% that at some point the accused handled that weapon. You still can't guarantee in that linkage that the defendant was necessarily handling the gun at the time that it was fired, but you can guarantee that linkage could exist, right? So it may not be the case that the destroyed evidence absolutely is the nail in the coffin, but the jury's instructions are to treat the weapon, to treat whatever the piece of evidence is, as if it were as maximally damning to the case as it could possibly have been. And that, of course, you're charged with the additional crime of destroying the evidence. And that's what should have happened in the case of Hillary Clinton and the destruction of those various Blackberries and tablets, etc. It should have been, she should have been prosecuted and put in front of a jury, and the jury should have been told, listen, she was caught destroying these email devices, and so you are instructed to operate under the assumption that every one of those devices included links to her, guaranteed that there was communication between her and whoever the owner of the device was, and the worst foreign actor you can assume that communication could have gone through, and that included the most dangerous level of leaked intelligence, which would be TSSCI SPA or SAP, right? Tisky sap. So,
yeah. All right. So yeah, I've got the list here. So this is a investigative committee being started by Comer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Republican from the House. Yeah. So they're seeking testimony. They've subpoenaed Bill and Hillary Clinton. All right. Um, and then the former attorneys general, Merrick Garland, Bill Barr, Alberto Gonzalez from like Bush the Lesser's administration. I forgot about him. Jeff Sessions, Loretta Lynch, and Eric Holder. All right, and former FBI directors James Comey and Robert Mueller. All right, so pretty much all the attorneys general and former FBI directors, right, are being subpoenaed um, over their, I guess, over the mishandling of the Epstein documents, or what are they fishing for here? What's the point? I don't. That's what I don't understand. Like,
That's a good question.
do
And
they not? Does Pam Bondi not have all the information that she needs? I mean, I mean, Pam Bondi had led me to believe that everything was on her desk already. That she had everything, and then she didn't, and then she had to um, seize the remaining files from the Southern District of New York, where the FBI's
so
field office.
if we're generous, if we're very generous to red flag Barbie, then the order of events is she claimed to have everything on her desk and ready to release it. And then she claimed that she was misled by someone, and it turned out that there was a great deal of additional information that was being withheld by the SDNY, which, as far as we know today, still has not been delivered to anyone's satisfaction. So that is the most generous we can be, is that she made a mistake early on because she was misled, and that she did nothing intentionally wrong, and she's trying to clean up a mess that she made through no fault of her own. Again, this is not a claim that I'm making. This is the most generous interpretation of the pattern of facts and events that I can possibly come up with. As far as what they're looking for, Mario, there is, I think, good reason to believe that important evidence has been destroyed or disappeared.
I believe that.
And there is at least some theory out there that Trump's incalcitrance on the release of these documents suggests that maybe that maybe the reading and investigation of the existing evidentiary material has shown that someone has manufactured evidence that would implicate Trump. And assuming that it's possible that something like that exists, the cast of the kind of rogues gallery that they've subpoenaed at this point, if there is any political, tactical, strategic talent left in our GOP, then what I would hope we're looking at here is an attempt to set some perjury traps, right? So, like you laid out earlier, you don't want to be the last guy. You don't want to be the last guy in this line, right? Because Bill Barr is going to come in, he's going to say what he's going to say, and then Eric Holder's going to come in, and they're going to ask him some questions, and he's going to say what he's going to say, and then somebody's going to say, "Well, now hold on a second, Eric, but Bill told us this, and you just told us that. So one of you has to go to jail for the rest of your lives. Which one is it?"
Yeah, I mean, I thought Speaker of the House Johnson already basically shut down Congress for the remainder of the session. Isn't that correct? Didn't they already try? Okay, didn't the House already? Who preferred the bill? Was it Massey? I don't think it was Massey.
It was Massey and Ro Khanna.
Yeah, someone put forward.
So you got a Republican and a Democrat.
Republican and a Democrat, yeah. So they already attempted to put forth a bill where they would vote on the government essentially just releasing everything. Okay, just release all files currently held, at least to Congress anyway. Release all files currently held regarding the Epstein saga. Okay, Speaker Johnson essentially threatened to shut down the government to prevent that from happening, to prevent that bill from going to the floor. for a vote. And now they're coming out with their, I guess, plausible deniability, where they're scheduling 3 months of hearings where, congressional Republicans, I guess, will get their 5 minutes of YouTube fame topped off, okay, where they grandstand and look bold, right, asking the hard questions, right. I'm kind of I'm actually in line here with a TPS report. What are they fishing for? It's a House subcommittee. They're fishing for something to do. Yeah, I yeah, I agree completely. They're looking. It's a way to make themselves not look so inadequate. Okay, that's really what this is. So I really don't expect
Anarchy
anything of
says the
value.
government could shut down for 6 months and it wouldn't affect any of us. Yeah, when Mario said they threatened to shut down the government to protect the files, you know what? As much as I want to see every pedophile through a wood chipper, if we get nothing out of the Epstein list except that the government is shut down until the Epstein files are released and we never see them, I would actually be okay with that.
Yep. And it's just keep in mind a
Like,
lot
listen,
of this is
we're not going to give up our pedophiles, and if you keep asking for it, if you keep asking for these files, we're just going to shut down the government.
Yep. I accept your resignation.
I'll have a Coke.
We accept your resignation.
I'll have a Coke.
Yeah.
I'll be the only white guy on the beach drinking a Coke.
Yeah. And I guess where it gets a little sticky is like this isn't. Not all of this is really pedophilia per se. All right, it is. It's illegal, but we're talking about 40, 50, 60-year-old men. Okay, using their influence and power essentially to stuff teenagers. Okay, and girls in their early 20s. So it's not. It's ebophilia, if you will. All right. But I mean, that is that gray area, and we know that Trump is guilty of essentially being a creep. Okay, using, I mean, he was 50 years old and stuffing a 20-year-old fashion model and socialite from London. Okay, illegal? No, but is it kind of shameful? Yes, of course. I don't. You can't prosecute any of these people for this. Okay, not unless you have sworn testimony from the individual victims. Okay, how much of that is still sealed? Who's going to unseal? Who's going to unseal all the information in Ghislaine Maxwell's trial? All right, that was sealed. That's everything
Right.
you need right there. That's it. That's all the evidence. Okay, Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, the sealed records of that. That's everything you need if you really want it. Okay, and all it takes is, I don't know what's the process for unsealing a judge's decision.
I don't know.
Such a thing exists? I mean, or is it a powerful magic spell that cannot be broken?
Because I mean, in theory, it should be something that could be broken with a simple FOIA request.
Like, are my
an expensive FOIA request, but a FOIA request.
Are my potions too powerful for you, stranger? Like, I mean, can you not? Can't be unsealed. With a sigil of fucking Moloch, Solomon's ring, right? Anyway, yeah. It's gay, dude. It's gay. At best, you'll get someone committing perjury. Okay, making a mistake and getting maybe ensuing drama. Okay, ensuing legal threats. But I think that's about it.
Well, we could see some perjury traps laid here. And it's getting hard to have faith in anything. It's incredibly hard to have faith in anything left in government, including, much as I hate to say it, Donald Trump at this point. Obviously going into the last election, we never had a choice. Donald Trump was the only option. He was the closest thing to an option that we had. And I was super optimistic. What I was hoping to see was an irate, vengeful Trump coming back to say, hey, you know what? Sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Investigate all the crimes, lock everybody up. And I don't give a shit how it looks politically because this is my second term. It's not like I'm running for another office.
Right. Plus, it is so difficult to get anything done in our government, especially something that's, especially changing course. Changing course is incredibly difficult for the United States government. Okay?
It is.
Because these things, because this shit has been paid for decades in advance. All right. The stuff that's been planned decades in advance, where the machine is slowly rolling. Okay. And to change that requires, honestly, like it requires it requires quasi-revolutionary action. Okay, I think the closest I've seen in my lifetime, other than from the closest I've seen in my lifetime, would have been Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich's speakership, okay, of the House, where he did the new contract with America. All right, that's the closest I think we've seen. But you're not going to get Congress
And
for shit.
Gingrich ran in that primary, and I liked him for the office. And it's a pity that he got mired down in sexual controversy, cheating on the wife, and all this stuff. And I think Ron White, who is a famous philanderer, multiple divorcee, but eventually, I think on his fourth wife, he learned his lesson, and he brought it up in one of his comedy routines. Probably the best piece of advice you can give a young man before he even gets married. And Ron White said, and I quote, "If you only fuck your wife, you can't get caught."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. No shit. I apologize for being a little for going a little vulgar there, but don't be out there running around on your wife.
I will say
running around on your wife, you get caught.
I will say, yeah, Mike Pence was right about that.
Yeah, it's literally the only thing he ever got right.
I literally will not talk to women unless my wife is there. I mean, a little extreme, perhaps. But,
I don't take it. Yeah. I don't take it quite that far. I don't take it quite that far. I talk to a lot of women because a lot of real estate agents are women. But you know what? I'm not sleeping with them. I've got a wife.
Well, thankfully, I don't speak to women, so
that's probably for the best.
I do to one, but it's not really. It's more of it's directing, demanding.
Bob Hay
and speaking to.
You say Bob Hay.
Who the fuck is Zig Ziglar? What is that, Pit Danny?
You don't know who Zig Ziglar is?
No.
Jesus, Mario. Okay. Zig Ziglar is he's proto Tony Robbins.
Where have I heard that from?
Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar?
Zig Ziglar.
Yeah, he's a famous inspirational speaker that teaches classes on salesmanship. Dude, you honestly take a little time, go down the YouTube rabbit hole on Zig Ziglar. Great public speaker, great motivational speaker. Motivational sales guru.
Got it.
When I took my first insurance contract with Aflac, we did a seminar where we watched a bunch of Zig Ziglar, and it was fantastic. I mean, very sharp dude. He's one of those guys that'll go, he could go to Sam's Club and just buy a case of office pens for $20 and pay the mortgage for the rest of the year by the end of the day. It's one of those guys.
Yeah. So basically, half of all the leading roles Leonardo DiCaprio has ever performed. Basically.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't know. The name alone had me thinking like Boogie Nights. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
No.
All right. Anyway.
KS4 off D says, why does it sound like a WWE character? And that's fair. either a pro wrestler or a porn star, but no, he's the OG motivational sales guru, brilliant speaker
who's ready to get ziggled.
Ziggle, ziggle, ziggle.
All right. So,
that suddenly sounds like a name that should be in the files. Definitely not, though. Definitely not.
So, I guess like similar to this, I was honestly, I would have more expected these subpoenas related to Russiagate than Epstein at this point. Okay, because the administration clearly is not handling the Epstein situation well at all. Okay, by one saying that we have all the documents, we're going to release all the documents. Okay, and then not doing it. Remember the Pam Bondi even went so far as to rickroll the American public, literally.
Yeah, and
through a Twitter post. Okay,
there is a thing going on right now with what they've dubbed the podcast presidency, and it was dubbed the podcast presidency because Trump had the foresight and intelligence to run a large part of his campaign doing like Joe Rogan, the Nelk Boys, the various popular podcasts, and Kamala tried to take a bite of that apple and absolutely shit the bed on it. Instead of going on popular podcasts where politics are discussed, she went on the anal sex and blowjobs podcast with what's her face. Did that one where like that's literally all. I forget the name of the podcast, but it's
Call Her Daddy. Call Her Daddy.
Call Her Daddy. That's it. It's the Wine Ant podcast about being a female sexual deviant,
right.
And so that's where she tried to campaign from there. Like, are you insane? And apparently, we were all right. It was a bad idea, and
she couldn't talk.
No,
she couldn't talk. That's, if you're a politician, that's kind of a problem.
That's kind of your whole job.
Yes, your job is to talk and not sound retarded, okay, and fool people. That's your job.
Yeah,
you cannot do any of those things.
You're the tester. You're the taste tester for the king to protect him from poison, but you're a vegan.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, with the Trump administration, you've already disappointed me. Okay, so I know this is coming from the House, all right, but as we saw from Speaker Johnson, nothing Epstein related is going to occur in the House unless Johnson himself approves it. Okay, and Johnson is getting his approval from higher, whether it be the Senate, okay, whether he's conferring with the Senate or whether he's conferring with the administration itself. All right, so this looks like it's some kind of a compromise between Massey's bill, right? That's what this appears to be. And yeah, I was expecting this more for Russiagate. I mean, that iron's hotter right now to strike.
No, it's not though. It's not though. Let me chew into this a little bit. Russiagate, the revelations on Russiagate are more recent than any revelations on the releases on Russiagate. But that's backfired a little bit because we've got these releases on Russiagate where we've got legitimate evidence that shows in no uncertain terms that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were both actively involved in using the American intelligence community and a couple of law firm cutouts and some shell corp bullshit.
And the intelligence community is guilty for going along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got the IC, you've got Clinton's, you've got Obama, you've got the Democrat National Committee specifically, all the way down to including Debbie Wasserman Schultz while she was still the DNC chair, explicitly stating, you've got documents where they're explicitly stating this is how we ran this seditious conspiracy to defraud the American people. And all that explicit evidence has recently been released. But here's why it's not hotter than the Epstein list, because the reception by the public to all that is, okay, great. We knew all this, and it's great to have some confirmation, but I kind of feel like you're trying to distract me from the Epstein files. And a lot of the public response to the release of all the information related to the Russiagate has been, oh, this is just a distraction. And from the left in particular, we're hearing, well, this is just a distraction because Donald Trump is trying to obfuscate the fact that the Epstein files prove that he's a pedophile. And we're hearing a lot of rhetoric from them that, oh, you conservatives aren't interested in the Epstein files anymore because you know your boy Donald's in there. Like, no. Like, universally, the conservative response to that has been, I still want to see the files. And if they say Trump is a pedo, put him in the wood chipper. Like, if the Donald has to go in the wood chipper to get everybody else in there, put him in first. That's fine. As long as all the other ones go in too. So the kind of yeah, so the response has been Russiagate. Well, we want to know, but we really want to know about this. And so go ahead, Mario, and then I'm gonna do the militant optimist thing and try to predict the 4D chess move here.
Right. Well, yes. Definitely the reason why the Russiagate scandal found new life, right, was because the American public needed a distraction from the incredible mishandling, all right, of the Epstein scandal, all right. And yes, there are real crimes involved here, okay, directly from Barack Obama himself. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, okay, and the cabinet of the presidents all conspired to essentially destroy Donald Trump's presidency before he was even inaugurated. All right, that is based on what's been released so far. That is 100% true. Okay, that is incontrovertible. The James Comey, okay, of the FBI, John Brennan of the CIA went along with it, along with the rest of the intelligence community. Okay, with actors from the NSA as well, went along with rewriting intelligence assessments, basically scrapping the original assessment, which was correct, that Russia's attempt to interfere in the 2016 election was minuscule, okay, and inept at best. They rewrote it all, okay, to fit with the president, they're writing the intelligence product based on what Obama and Hillary wanted to hear, not based on what is reality, okay? And then they doubled down by leaking information in a tailored fashion to the press, who was more than willing to be complicit in this farce. All right, it's something. It's like you and I. We knew from day one that Russiagate was that it was bullshit. Okay, we saw how it was used to manipulate the Donald Trump. Okay, a really at this point kind of a junior politician, really. Okay, he was brand new to the game. Came to Washington D.C. and they were able to use Russiagate to effectively roll him and delay the implementation of any type of America First agenda for at least the first 19 months of his presidency. Okay, lest we forget, General Michael Flynn had to step down, thanks to Mike Pence, thanks to Mike Pence immediately playing the Washington game and going along with whatever the who really did, I don't know. And then Attorney General Sessions essentially recusing himself from the entire affair because he happened to take a phone call with a Russian. It
wasn't even a phone call. He had a handshake. He had a handshake conversation in a crowded public room at a Heritage Foundation event with the Russian with the Russian diplomat in question.
Yeah.
Less than 1 minute.
Lazarov or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy's been there for 30 years.
So militant optimist. Here's the smart play. If this is the way it goes, and guys, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the functional strategic intelligence of any of our elected GOP right now. So understand what I'm about to say here is this is the path to making all of this make sense. It starts with assuming that Pam Bondi just made a mistake, dropped the ball, right? Again, militant optimist, maximum generosity in this analysis. So if we assume that Pam made a mistake, somebody lied to her.
She spoke before getting approval from higher, is what she did.
Right.
She did that amateur mistake of saying you're going to do some shit before talking to your boss. That's what you did.
Well, and before talking to your assistant, right? Yeah. Hey, I've got a stack of docs here. I'm all done. I'm ready to send to the client. Hey, Joey, come, take a look at this. Double check it for me. Make sure I remember to
I ain't got
cross my I's and dot my T's, right? Just double check it for me. So she missed that. Because of that, that early mishandling of the Epstein files has soured the voter base dramatically. And we're going into this next midterm. This midterm is critical. We cannot understate how important this midterm is, because I think we could safely say that for the first time since, maybe for the second time, we're going into a midterm where the question is not, will the Democrats or the Republicans control the House and the Senate after the midterm? The question is, will the President of the United States be impeached or not? Because the Democrats have made it very, very clear. They are not interested in the law. They're not interested in whether or not there's actual wrongdoing. They are not interested. They were not interested in the Epstein files until Trump gave them an opening by making a massive error in mishandling the Epstein files. The Democrats haven't said boo about that shit because, let's be real, they are the party that is most likely to be caught up most in these files. They are the party of spiteful mutants and shameful degenerates. Right.
Well, I mean, have you heard the rhetoric? Have you heard the rhetoric from them lately? They're constantly talking about we're going to bring knives to knife fights and we're bringing guns to gun fights. We're going to stand up and fight back. Like,
yeah. So
unhinged.
Following the whole thing with the Epstein fallout, the midterm was in trouble. The timing of this. Right, we're going to get to middle of this month. They're going to have these hearings. Those hearings are going to have ramifications that stretch out over a long period of time. So, militant optimist, I would actually expect to see some prosecutions come out of these, some charges come out of these hearings. Probably Eric Holder is going to get charged with some kind of perjury. There will probably be some revisitation on the time that Eric Holder was held in contempt and just basically refused to comply with the orders, never spend any time in jail, which he should have. There's a very deep drawer into which an efficient retrieval mechanism could be prosecuting and incarcerating either of the Clintons for multiple counts of perjury, Eric Holder for perjuring himself, for contempt, for all of that. There's clearly some thread here that can be pulled to prove a conspiracy that includes Bill Barr, by the way. And I'm not even saying that he was absolutely involved in the conspiracy. I'm saying that there's clearly a thread that connects him somehow to the conspiracy. But what you get there is you get a lot of red meat for the base leading up to a leading up to the midterm next year.
Yeah.
So this, if it's handled in the way that I'm describing,
Yeah,
this
if
could
handled
prove to be a
correctly,
very savvy strategic political move.
it'll be a good show. Exactly. If handled
Right.
correctly, it will be a good show. All right.
And
that keeps people motivated.
and if handled correctly, it'll be a good show, and it could be the thing that saves the midterm. Now, here's where I'll be very generous with crediting a little 4D chess. It could be that Trump and his administration and his advisors understand that there are big moves that we want to see them make, but if he makes them before the midterm, they guarantee that he loses the midterm and gets impeached afterward. If he can stay the course and get just enough red meat out there to hold the House and the Senate through the midterm, then we go into a Donald Trump who does not have to be interested in re-election, does not have to concern himself with the midterm, has absolutely no political excuse to not go ham. And again, this is the militant optimist, most generous interpretation of the facts.
Someone's trusting the plan here.
Like I said, I don't know that I hold out much hope to see this pattern unfold. This is the best case scenario, the best outcome from this is doing the best we could with what we've got.
Well, that's the thing. We have Trump for like 3 more years. You know what I mean? You might as well get the best we can out of that. Okay, so I voted for Trump in good faith 3 times. All right.
Yep.
I don't despise Donald Trump. Okay. I already knew he was kind of a lecher before he even ran for office in 2016. Okay. It doesn't surprise me that Donald Trump was using his position of power to have sex with girls who were right there on that questionable line of legality and morality. Okay. That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. All right. Shouldn't surprise anyone who followed his exploits in the 90s. I'm over that. It doesn't bother me so much at this point. All right. What bothers me is that he is using his position to hold the system together. He's using his position to hold together an infrastructure of corruption within our government that would be destroyed if the truth about the Epstein, the client list and services rendered to those individuals, all right, if that were released, it would basically be a massive disinfectant across all of DC. That's what I'm angry about. I'm not angry that Donald Trump, 50-year-old Trump, porks 20-year-old models. Okay, I'm angry that he is preventing the swamp from being drained. That's what angers me.
He is the scupper.
Yes.
Somebody needs to pull the scupper.
You need to pull the plug. Exactly.
Yep.
Anyway, Al Green said he's going to impeach. Okay. Immediately after the midterms.
Yep.
So you know. Okay.
Yeah, it's guaranteed. If the House and Senate both go blue, Donald Trump gets impeached.
Yeah.
And it'll be just like the 34 felonies. Hey Mario, do you know what the 34 felonies are?
34 felonies.
That Trump was convicted of?
I guess he didn't, or his account.
You don't know because they never said. That has still not been said.
His accountant didn't.
He was charged with.
His accountant didn't check one box or something, or I don't know.
So
is that what it's about?
Basically, there were three accounting errors that were repeated in the duplication of documents, and so he's being charged for the 3 errors and every duplication of them in documents, all of which are misdemeanors.
Yeah.
Which are way beyond the statute of limitations.
That's what I said. Literally.
And then the judge
got to check a box.
They said, well, we believe that these 34 misdemeanors can be exempted from the rule on statute of limitations because We believe that they were committed in the furtherance of a felony.
Yeah, I know. And you are right. You are right that
But they've never named the felony. There is no felony. So what that means is that Donald Trump was tried and convicted without ever having been charged. And that's so Donald Trump, anybody who tells you Donald Trump is a felon, he was convicted of 34 felonies. He was not. He was never, you cannot be convicted. It is impossible by definition to be convicted without having been charged.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I do count my blessings.
KS40FD, you are incorrect. The Dems, Donald Trump was impeached twice. The impeachment did go through the first impeachment did go through the House, and he was acquitted in the Senate.
Yeah, both times.
Yeah.
Also, KS4FD says even if he loses the midterm, I doubt the Dems would waste their time on impeachment and trial since he can't run again. Oh no, they would.
No, they will absolutely impeach him.
Because they are equally useless and looking to put on a show for their base. Okay, and that is the greatest show on earth. All right, which is we're gonna get Trump this time. All right,
the walls are closing in.
2 more weeks. But yeah,
dude, I even used the walls are closing in the description.
Yeah. TikTok, right? But no, they're infinitely petty. KS4, okay, believe that. So, anyway, what we're I can't think this morning.
I think that's about all I've got, unless you want to read the subpoenas directly, which I think I'm good.
No. I did have something I wanted to say, but I forgot it, so I'm useless.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and put a pin in this one. Thanks for watching this morning, guys. I think that's all I've got. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Oh, damn it. I guess it's too late, right?
No, go ahead.
All right. Yeah. What I was saying is,
you've ruined everything.
I know. Well, you can say it again, okay? Despite my disappointment with the Trump administration revealing the things that we wanted revealed, okay? Despite my disappointment, I still do count my blessings, and you just remind me of that, of the 34 counts against him, okay? Like, the levels of toxic, weaponized bullshit that we had to deal with for the entire Biden administration, I don't think history is going to adequately like describe, okay, what occurred, right? Whether it was the witch hunt against Donald Trump, or whether it was the insane decisions made by the January 6th committee, okay, the insanity of the rollout of the COVID vaccine, okay, the levels of weaponized psychological bullshit, okay, that everyone was subjected to for 5 years. You should just pat yourself on the back today. You're a survivor. You survived one of the worst psyops in world history, in American history. Okay.
Oh yeah, you mentioned the COVID-19. You mentioned the COVID vaccine rollout, right? 2020, right? We get Operation Warp Speed. Donald Trump says we're gonna slash red tape, get this thing through, and there's a lot wrong there, a lot to be suspicious and aggravated about there. But let's not forget, we've talked about how 2020 was stolen, and it was stolen in little ways here and there, right? We talked about how the Democrats are great at money laundering, right? You never move more than $9,000 at a time, because at $10,000, the IRS, the FEC, and the FBI are immediately notified. You have to fill out all the anti-terrorism paperwork, right? They do it in little pieces here and there. And what happened with the COVID-19 vaccine? We were told that it was going to take 6 to 8 more months for the emergency use approval, or I forget the exact term, but the emergency use provision to be put into place so that we could start delivering the the COVID-19 vaccines. The election happened. Donald Trump was declared the loser early.
Yeah.
And then he was clearly winning all night until 2:00 in the morning, when suddenly everybody stopped counting and you saw the right,
Fox.
the clear fraud that happened there. And then 1 week, less than a week, it was like 3 or 4 days after the election was called, then the vaccine was approved for emergency use cases. Within a week, even though we had just been told that we won't have the vaccine, Donald Trump, and it was an important piece of the story, Donald Trump has failed to deliver the COVID vaccine. And then a week after the election, hey, the FDA has approved the vaccine. It's full steam ahead with the COVID vaccine.
Yeah, it's
I
don't want to get started on the vaccine, obviously, this late in the show. I think it was a bioweapon. Okay, it was an attempted genocide, is what that vaccine was. Okay, we can say that now. We can say that on YouTube now, right? It's been it's been 4 years. Yeah. I would love to do it. I would love to do a deep dive on that, but I need the help of experts. It's not one of those ones that I can just understand myself, because I can't read medical papers because I'm too stupid. I need Cyber's help, but Cyber won't help me anymore.
I'd like to do one on the COVID, on the disease itself, and a separate one on the vaccine. I'd like to do one on January 6th. I'd like to do one on Russiagate, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I'd like to do a separate one on the Clinton emails, right? I mean, you could kind of wrap that up with Russiagate, but
you absolutely can. You absolutely can.
Hey, Mario, you want to do a deep dive on the Clintons? No, I don't. Because the Clintons are at least 100 different 3-hour deep dives on individual serious conspiracy allegations. I mean, you got Hillary. Hillary was at the Rosemont law firm, Rosemont law firm during Watergate. You've got the Clinton Foundation, the Haiti thing. You've got the Clinton kill list. You've got the emails. You've got the chubby intern. It just goes on and on and on. And if I'm being honest, if I'm being fair, Hillary appears to have been much dirtier than Bill was. It kind of looks like what really happened is Bill kind of liked to strip the interns and happened to be married to the most evil conspiracy woman in the world.
That's right. Yeah, Bill Clinton loved pussy. Okay, Hillary Clinton loved power and pussy. Okay, so come on, Huma Abedin. Something was something weird was going on there, man. Okay, and now she's married to that little fucking the little monkey that Soros shit out. Alex Soros. Yeah. Nothing to see here, folks. Nothing.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching.
You married Wiener's seconds. You married Anthony Wiener's seconds. What are you doing? It's clearly it's a royal arrangement that they were wedded. Anyway, I'm falling off the rails here. So
all right, guys. Y'all be safe out there. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ciao.